All right, so tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Bernard Moore. I am a swimwear designer and fashion stylist. I'm 50 years old,
Okay.
and the company is Bathhouse Swimwear.
Okay, where are you located at?
Well, we're in Montclair, New Jersey.
All right. Okay. Um, Now, how would you describe your personality? Like, what is Bernard Moore really like?
Bernard Moore is a great guy. Bernard Moore, I am focused.
Hmm.
Um, I try to take my work seriously. I don't take myself seriously.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your background, your past. How did it help you or hurt you as a designer? Your entire like past story.
Okay, that's a good question. Um, before design, I mean, life before design was, a normal life, married with children, and I worked for AT&T and um New Jersey Bell and all these corporate companies when I was younger, and it was a good living, but design is my passion.
Question: was your father or mother in the design
My gr-
industry at all?
my grandfather was a master tailor.
Okay.
A master tailor,
Okay.
the golden age of tailoring and dressmaking, 20s, 30s, 40s,
Mm-hmm.
and was a suit maker.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's between my grandfather and my mother, who was a very she's still with us, thank God, a very elegant woman, and so I get my sense of style from her and my love of sewing from my grandfather.
Okay, so now how does your friends or your tough critics describe you? Now we know how you describe yourself, but how would your friends
Good question.
describe you?
As a taskmaster, fun loving, easygoing, but the job has to get done and has to get done right.
That's your coworkers, right?
Absolutely.
So now how would your friend describe you?
Same way.
Same way? Okay. Now how do you react to criticism?
Not well.
What do you mean?
I try to prepare to anticipate what I would be criticized for. So whether if I'm wrong, I have to admit that I'm wrong, but I don't normally take it well.
So what's been your most helpful or constructive feedback that you can really think of?
Well, I have to be better time manager, and I have to learn to delegate more. I tend to take on every role, you know, in my company, and it's hard to let go of certain things because you want everything done the way you want it done, but it's impossible to play all the roles.
So what was your worst criticism that you've ever received in your life? The worst. I mean like the
The
worst.
absolute
Worst.
wow. Hmm. I don't know. That's really a good question. Um, I've never been harshly criticized with my style, excuse me, of design. Um, I suppose that I've been tough on folks. I've been kind of tough.
Okay. Now, as a designer, what do you
Mm.
feel is your worst quality?
You have a bad attitude. My worst quality.
Yeah.
My worst.
What do you
What is my worst
Your worst
quality?
quality, yeah.
I'm a perfectionist, and chasing perfection is frustrating in itself, but it's a laudable goal. So I'm always looking for perfection, never finding it, but I refuse to give up.
Okay. That's fair. All right, now I know you have a large resume. Tell
Mm.
us about your design industry experience.
Okay.
Like everything, your runway,
Mhm.
your clothing lines, who you don't work for in the industry. Just tell us everything about that.
Okay, that's great. Some of the runway stuff that I've done, Rip the Runway. That was my first national exposure on BET's Rip the Runway.
Uh huh.
I've also done spring bling for Rip the Runway, for BET.
Mm-hmm.
VH1's Supermodel Search, that was in Albania,
Oh,
Eastern
okay.
Europe, right?
Yeah.
And also MTV commercial with P. Diddy
Oh,
for
so
the MTV Music
excuse me.
Awards. We did
Okay.
that. If you remember the bathing suits in that commercial, half those bathing suits were mine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Magazines. I do a lot of urban glamour. I like to move away from the urban glamour, but they gave me my start for Black Men's Magazine,
Mm-hmm.
Smooth Magazine,
Okay.
King, with all the glamour models from Lisa Ray, Foxy Brown,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we a lot of exposure. Chad Ochocinco with Hoops,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So yeah, a lot of exposure, a lot of
Okay.
exposure. Ti video, we worked with 50 Cent,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And the Ti video, Why You Want to Go and Do That, shot in Hawaii. Those were my bathing
You have a
suits.
lot of big clientele. Did you go to school or did you like? How did you learn about all this stuff?
Well, again, it goes back to my grandfather. He was a tailor, as I mentioned. I'm self-taught as a swimsuit designer.
Mhm. Okay.
Started out as a stylist, and um, just with the training that my grandfather taught me in terms of tailoring, I applied those basic lessons to making my own bathing suits.
Okay. How would you describe your design aesthetic or your style? Is it like couture, conservative,
Good
vintage?
question. I guess you call it contemporary. I like to design very smart, very sleek,
Okay.
very body conscious garments. The style is chic, but it has to be wearable. It has to function, and you should be able to go swimming and lounge, go from the water to to your social interaction, and be comfortable in both.
Hmm.
But we want to be fashion forward and give those fashion conscious customers um, something to look forward to.
I know you just talked about conscious fascist customers. I do apologize.
That's right.
What is your targeted demographic?
Generally speaking, it's 18 to 34. Uh, we're looking for older. We want to call them urbanites, but at least folks that are that they're out to dinner. They're again very fashion conscious, um, very social. That's the person that we're looking for. The person that really looks good and enjoys looking good.
Okay. Now, what is the genre that you actually designed for?
That's a great question. I'm not sure I understand it, but let me take a stab at it.
Okay. I was like women's,
Yeah.
women's ready to wear, swimwear, tuxedos.
I am all swimwear, but I do have it in my mind to expand beyond swimwear, but in swimwear related genre. For example, sarongs, cover ups,
Okay.
summer dresses.
Okay. Now, do you make a living as a designer?
I do. What little living it is, and that's why I'm here. We're gonna see if Joe Z can't help me monetize the work that I've done over the years.
Okay. What is the gross sale of your biggest year? I mean, like your biggest
Well,
pinnacle year. I mean,
you're gonna embarrass me 'cause we haven't made a lot of money. But I would say somewhere between 30 and 40 doing boutique sales. It's not a lot of money, but I'm eking out a living, and I'm looking for um, help in monetizing the work I do beyond boutique orders and getting into full-fledged production.
it sounds like you have a very big ambition and very big goals. What seems to be your biggest obstacle that keeps you from getting to your next level as a designer?
Is absolutely financing.
Oh.
That's financing is first and foremost. As a self-taught designer, there is practical information that I lack, but money first. I've been learning on the job all this long time, so I can see my way, but money is the most important thing.
I know this might sound redundant, but on the business side, I know you do a lot. You're very good with the design, but on the business side of things, what are your major struggles? And if you want to reiterate, that's fine. But
Yeah. The major struggles are again financing, having consistent support, um, learning the ins and out of the production process, placement in stores, speaking that particular business language. If you're not familiar, if you're not experienced, the professionals, the people that are already stayed in the business, they can see you coming, and
How? No, I'm sorry. How is dedication like with team or workers? Do you find that a lot of people are dedicated in the industry, or in your experience, like how is
the people
dedication?
I have around me are dedicated. No one is going to work for you as hard as you are, and so I guess the trick is to work with your people as long as you have them. They're gonna have desires on their own and go their separate ways, but and go their own way. But as long as you're working with folks, whether they're pattern makers, sample makers, as co-designers, people working with you, you need to get as much work out of your people as you possibly can while you have them in a good, positive working atmosphere.
Mhm. Now I want you to think hard. What aspect of your business, now your business, do you think needs major improvement?